But know that God is good all the time. That's why I gave all glory to God.
Talk Nation, welcome back everybody. It's your boy Real Talk, and we are back with another banger because the bronze bomber is back. Deontay Wilder 1.5. He left the game heavy, came back crispy. Deontay Wilder is not only looking explosive, he is not only looking quick. I mean, Deontay Wilder is damn near looking nuclear. I'm talking about his speed has increased. His power look like it has increased. And his punch variation is not only crisp, but it's precise. And it has snap and it has power. I mean, I'm very impressed with Deontay Wilder and the way that he looks since he has came back to the sport. When Deontay Wilder was initially training with Malik Scott, and for the fight with Tyson Fury that he got knocked out, he looked super explosive. With the added weight, I mean, everything, he did look good. But we saw in that fight prove that the added weight, he had fatigue issues, stamina issues. And although Tyson Fury did box wonderfully in that fight, Deontay Wilder, with his stamina issues from the added weight, his legs just was not there in that fight. And we seen that. So it was partially Deontay Wilder and partially Tyson Fury, the reason why he got knocked out in his last fight with Tyson Fury. All blemishes on Deontay Wilder's record are from Tyson Fury. Does Tyson Fury have Deontay Wilder's number? Yes. Could Deontay Wilder possibly beat Tyson Fury if by some stretch, whatever, they fought in the future? Absolutely. Because if it took 3 fights for Tyson Fury to get that result, guess what? Deontay Wilder can get that result in any fight. So if he faces Tyson Fury again, he has the ability, he has that chance. It is a probability that he can possibly knock out Tyson Fury if they fight yet again. But let's move on to Robert Helenius. Robert Helenius is 38 years of age. He is 6'6" and a half. He is 31-3 with 20 knockouts. Now, he doesn't have enough power in order to, in my opinion, keep Deontay Wilder honest. Say what you want, but Deontay Wilder, he can't take a punch. And anytime that he has been hurt by an opponent, it was coming from somebody with power. Now, far be it, like I said, Tyson Fury in that last fight, Deontay Wilder, his legs wasn't there. Yes, you heard him complaining about, after the fight, the costume was too heavy, walking up 30 flights of steps, coming up to the ring and all that. Pretty much took the gas out of his legs, and that contributed to his exhaustion and lack of stamina and somewhat performance in the fight. Okay. If you go back and you look at recent tweets from Deontay Wilder, one specifically, he said that I've sparred 407 rounds in 15 days. So that tells me stamina is not an issue. That tells me his legs ain't gonna be a problem. If you guys look at the footage, you can see him running. You can see him sparring. Deontay Wilder looks in great shape. Great shape. Losing that additional weight that he put on for Tyson Fury because he did not want to get muscled and bullied and pushed around by Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was the larger competitor, putting his weight on Deontay Wilder, so he thought that putting on that weight, this is Deontay Wilder, that he could somehow circumvent and neutralize that effect from Tyson Fury. That proved incorrect. That worked against Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Now moving forward, shout out to Malik Scott. Shout out to Philly. Malik Scott has Deontay Wilder, as I said, looking like the old Deontay Wilder. And you know what? Let's keep it a bean, y'all. Let's keep it 100. I personally am not looking for Deontay Wilder to turn into Muhammad Ali. I ain't looking for it. You have to stay within your nature. You have to stay and you have to work on what you are good at. And Deontay Wilder is a natural and a pure fighter. He's a puncher. That's it. He is not a fantastic boxer. He will not become the Devin Haney of the heavyweight division. He will not become Tyson Fury. It just ain't going to happen. But he's a fantastic fighter. He's a tough competitor. He has raw, organic, he was born with it, power. And his speed and his power is looking faster and stronger than ever. And that is the part that has me not only surprised, but it has me a bit worried for Robert Helenius. Shout out to Finland. Shout out to Sweden. Let me tell y'all something, man. Robert Helenius, he better be working on his head movement. That better be number one on the list as far as defensive practices to stave off Deontay Wilder's punishing offensive attack. Because if it is not, he is going to sleep. I'm talking about he's going to be gone. Deontay Wilder, I mean, everybody on planet Earth who watches the sport of boxing, who knows about Deontay Wilder, they know about Deontay Wilder's right hand. They know about the power. We're talking volcanic. We are talking Hiroshima. God bless. We are talking about 9.5 on a Richter scale, earthquake power. And can you just imagine if his power has increased for this fight, which it looked like it has? Because if his speed has increased, then his power has increased. And Deontay Wilder already had a quick jab. His jab is already super explosive. One of the best 1-2s in the business. That's how he has knocked out 41 of his past opponents. Soften them up with the jab, followed by the right hand. But I told you guys, he also has a sneaky good left hook, if you guys can see in the footage. He also has a sneaky good uppercut. And the punch variations that I see Deontay Wilder working on, like short, explosive, precise shots, ranging anywhere from 1 shot to 4 punch combinations. Nothing more. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder doesn't need any more than a 4 punch combination. Because if 2 shots can soften his opponent up and ultimately get them up out of there, imagine what a 3 punch combination or a 4 punch combination is going to do. And the shot variations that he is doing, very short, very precise, very powerful. So when Deontay Wilder closes that range, or when his opponent closes that range, look for Deontay Wilder to initiate that jab, and everybody always expects that right hand to come. But people expect that right hand to come from downtown, fully extending the shot. They're not expecting a short, poppy right hand. Boop, put it right up, just put it right in your face. Not trying to push through his opponent. Just want to put it right there in your face. Pop. This with the 3 and the 4 punch combination variations come in. Because now, instead of trying to knock you out with the right hand, I'm just going to use the right hand to soften you up for the 3rd and for the 4th shot. So these combinations are going to be punishing combinations. Instead of Deontay Wilder getting his opponent up out of there in 1 to 2 shots, you are looking at a Deontay Wilder who is possibly looking to punish his opponent. And after Deontay Wilder has come back from being knocked out by Tyson Fury, I believe he needs to make a statement. I believe he has to make a statement. Not only does he still have that volcanic power and I can still knock you out. No. We all know that already. We need to see Deontay Wilder punish his opponent. That's right, I said it. We need to see Deontay Wilder punish Robert Helenius. So for the Andy Ruiz Juniors, for the Usyks, whoever, for the Anthony Joshua, anybody who looks to face Deontay Wilder next, Bronze Bomber need to show them what they are in store for. We're talking about a life-altering experience. We've seen what Alexander Usyk has just recently did to Anthony Joshua. And Alexander Usyk does not have the power that Deontay Wilder has. He beat AJ with skill, with technique, and work rate. Leading up into the later rounds of the fight, Usyk just wanted it more. Shout out to Robert Garcia. Shout out to Pita. Shout out to the whole RGBA team, family, Elie. Shout out to everybody. They also spoke on that. And I also spoke on this. That fight has made Anthony Joshua a dangerous competitor. Because, see, he hired Robert Garcia to train him to be more aggressive. But he realized, and he had to find out the hard way in that fight, that somebody can't train you to be a dog. Being a dog comes from grit, determination, loss, stress, pedigree, toughness, more importantly, mental toughness. And some of those things, if not all of those things, AJ has experienced in that fight. And if he is a smart competitor, if he is wise, he will learn, and that loss from Alexander Usyk will give him what he's been searching for all this time, that dog gene. And AJ can become a better fighter, a stronger fighter, and a more durable fighter. But I believe that one of his hang-ups will always be his gas tank. Even though he is dry, he slimmed down a little bit more for the Usyk fight. As I said, leading up into the later rounds, like he said, he had an explosive 9th round. Usyk came back in the 10th round, had a great 10th round, then had a good 11th and 12th round. Pretty much closed out the fight. So AJ, gas tank, it pretty much is what it is. So if Anthony Joshua is going to have success, especially knockout success, it has to be between anywhere from 5, let's give him 5 to 7 to 8 rounds. After that, if his opponent has a better gas tank, which Deontay Wilder does, and this fight is still going into the later rounds, you look at his opponent to close out that fight strong and very convincingly. So for Deontay Wilder to go into this fight with Robert Helenius, the ramifications of Deontay Wilder losing is very high, if not catastrophic, because that would be an upset. That would be a huge upset. But if Deontay Wilder goes into that fight and he is successful against Robert Helenius, now his future is looking like a possible Andy Ruiz fight. His future is possibly looking like a possible Anthony Joshua fight. And with Usyk and Tyson Fury, possibly their teams are going to be sitting down to talking about a possible heavyweight undisputed matchup we're going to see. We just heard reports that Tyson Fury, shout out to IFL TV, that Tyson Fury has instructed his legal team to get in contact with the WBC to let them know, in fact, that I am not retiring. I'm returning to face Alexander Usyk to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Can this happen? Absolutely. But I told you guys before, Alexander Usyk, I like Usyk in that fight. Yes, Tyson Fury is the bigger guy at 6'9". Skill is what means something.